Hi, I'm Mo, and I've built an organization that's helped over 50,000 professionals increase their impact and grow a powerful book of business through strategic relationship building. And in this video, I'll share 4 techniques that you can apply to win new work for your organization and become indispensable for your firm, no matter what your industry or previous level of business development experience. The first rule to win new work is what I call heck yes offers. When most people approach winning work, they make it all about their organization's solution. They enter a call ready to share a pre-made pitch deck. They show off the logos of all the interesting clients they've worked with. They tell the story of their firm. They make it all about what they can do. Top performers, those who win new work, focus on the client instead. When you make an ask, you must ask in a way that makes the client excited to say yes. Here's how the heck yes offer works. First, spend the first 45 minutes or so of an hour call getting your client to talk as much as possible about themselves and their priorities. Ask open-ended questions about their organization and priorities. Whatever they say, paraphrase things back to them in your own words to make sure you understand. And if they're nodding along and smiling, you have permission not to ask for business, but to ask more questions. You want to chase the energy. Follow up and discover what's important to them. Focus especially on what they want to accomplish. Do they need help removing a negative? Achieving something they can't without your expertise? Through this process, you discover possibilities. These possibilities are related to their most important priorities. And instead of offering a predetermined solution, you can use what you learned to tailor heck yes offers. 45 minutes goes by this way. As you listen, be focused on ways you can help them inside and outside of what you're traditionally hired to do. As you go, share your heck yes offers, which sounds like this. Would it be helpful if, plus a customized follow-up offer that you can deliver in the next meeting or contact point? For example, if you discuss something the client wants to accomplish they've never done before, you might say, would it be helpful if my team put together a custom plan to accomplish that goal based on what we've learned works? If you've discussed a problem finding good talent to apply for an important open position, your heck yes offer might sound like this. Would it be helpful if I connect you with Lewis on our team who runs our alumni network and always knows who might be looking for a new opportunity? You must pair would it be helpful if with an offer of value that directly relates to something the client shared with you. When you do this, it's almost impossible for them not to say heck yes to your offer because you've made it all about them. Personally, if I'm on a 1-hour call with a new prospect, I'm looking to make 5 or 6 would it be helpful if offers. I want 3 or 4 helpful follow-ups per call, and I know not all of them will be accepted. But the ones that do get a heck yes jumpstart your momentum. So choose your own rate that works for you to make sure you offer more heck yes offers than you think will be accepted. Our next rule focuses on how to end a meeting perfectly. If you've ever had a great meeting with high emotions, exciting ideas, and interesting opportunities, it can be a real downer when you end all that excitement with some dry follow-up steps. That's because you're repeating things that have already been discussed. You need to assign to-dos and recap things because that gives everyone the gift of clarity. But how can you do it without destroying the enthusiasm and goodwill the rest of the meeting built up? You're going to do a 1-2 punch that I call the double closer. The first meeting closing is called a practical close. The practical close recaps the next steps of the meeting. Who will do what and by when. For bonus points, mention the progress you already made in the meeting itself, like decisions that have already been made, but don't end here. The practical close is important, but you'll need to complete one more close to end strong. During the meeting, make a mental note of when people got the most excited, like when they laughed the most or shared a great story. Maybe your new prospect is excited about going on an upcoming African safari. Right before you finish the practical recap of the meeting, just before everyone leaves, end by reincorporating that moment from the meeting. Amanda, have a great time on the safari. Make sure you unplug. You've been working crazy hard. Can't wait to see some pictures when we reconnect next month. This works so well because we tend to remember two things about every experience. First, we remember the peak, the strongest moment of emotion, and we remember the end, the final moments of the call. Ending with the peak of emotion associates those positive feelings with you and lingers between all of your meetings. The next rule keeps your energy high when emotions are running low. It's so easy to get discouraged when it comes to winning new work. For most of your career, you've likely been reinforced by learning and mastering skills that increase certainty. Once you master how to deliver a certain kind of value, create a report, use software, or assemble a complex project, you get rewarded reliably when you complete those actions. Doing this work leads to quick feedback, predictable communication, and immediate rewards. But winning the work doesn't feel like that. You can do everything right, deliver the perfect proposal on time according to your best knowledge of your client's requirements, and still get zero in return. If you expect quick feedback and fast rewards, but instead get randomness or a rejection, you'll burn out fast. That's why you have to take an entirely new approach to win new work. An approach I call the 10x rule. Instead of a single one-time attempt, banking your hopes on one excellent action, you're going to 10x it. Instead of one client outreach, you'll 10x it. Instead of one attempt to connect, you'll 10x it. 1x thinking is rooted in the mindset, I have to be perfect this time. It says, I better get the response I'm looking for this time or it's all over. Instead, the 10x rule says if I add value 10 times, at some point, something is going to resonate. If you're only expecting 1 of 10 of your attempts to succeed, it takes away the sting of not getting a response. Or worse, the fear of not getting a response. Instead of getting discouraged when an attempt doesn't land, you're thrilled when it finally does. With the 10x rule, you make more attempts. You simply make more offers of helpfulness over a longer period of time. And doing that will beat 99% of your competition because most people will quit long before they should. But when you're making your 10x attempts, it's important not to get stuck in the mindset of offering only one kind of value to your clients. You probably come from a background of being an expert. You have deep domain knowledge that allows you to speak into and advise your clients. You naturally want to make recommendations to solve problems. That's how you provide value, right? What I'm describing is the first of 3 offers you can give your client. The offer of technical advice. Technical advice is our natural mode. It's effectively doing the work, and it works great if the client's explicitly looking for answers. But it's not always the right approach. Instead of answering questions or solving problems, often your client is looking for someone to listen to what they're sharing. This often sounds similar if you aren't listening closely. The client will describe a problem, issue, or situation they're facing. But if you listen closely, clients aren't necessarily asking for a solution. At best, they're asking for confirmation that the problem is legitimate or that the issue they're describing is something common for people in their shoes. That's when the second offer comes into play, offering emotional support. You can add a lot of value just by listening. You're a third party, a safe zone where they can share more than they can with an internal colleague. Think of this like a bid of vulnerability coming from the client. And if you respond to that vulnerability with cold technical advice trying to solve the bid, you'll be casting aside a chance for a deeper relationship, often without realizing it. But what if your client isn't looking to solve a problem or be listened to? There's a third mode clients are seeking, an open-ended discussion of possibilities. Think of this as wanting an energetic brainstorming partner they can spar with to expand their ideas and sharpen their thinking. Again, you add a lot of value by being an external party. You've likely seen a lot of other people trying to accomplish similar goals under similar conditions so you can provide a fresh perspective. In that case, the goal isn't landing on a solution, but rather generating excitement and options. What if we threw out our current approach? What are other clients besides me doing? What if we borrowed ideas from a completely different industry? In other words, in this mode, you want to use the third offer of value: strategic ideas. Don't try to solve the conversation. Just use the time to expand the space of possible future solutions. You'll add much more value that way. When you enter a client conversation, create space to allow all of these offers to be in the mix. Don't be too fast to give technical advice. You'll likely prepare to do this, so read the room. Be ready to shift to another approach, as it might be the key to compounding the long-term value of your relationship and winning future work time and time again. For more moves and mindsets to win new work in any industry and career, check out this video next. And if you haven't yet, check out my book, Give to Grow, which is the one-stop shop for everything I've learned over the past 25 years about the moves and the mindsets of growth.